My name tag's on. I had a cough and it ended up in the back. Get it off. So. My name's John Lundless, and I'm president of the Urban Ranger Corps, a group I started 6 years ago. This summer was our first, our 6th year of operation. We always start in June to go to the end of the following school year. And in my parish where I work, the kids in the neighborhood, a lot of them seemed totally lost. They were selling drugs, a lot of them. Some of them were skipping school. They didn't have part-time jobs. They didn't seem to be using facilities in town that we might use, like the recreation center, things like that. And one of the things I noticed is if you don't make the high school football team or basketball team or something, sometimes there's no way to get recognition. Except when I was a kid, we got recognition for part-time jobs. But I noticed in our neighborhoods where my church was, or my 59 Minnesota Parkway, it was unlike the one I grew up in when I was a kid. It was a blue-collar neighborhood. But in that neighborhood, there were craftsmen. There were roofers and plasterers and stonemasons, electricians. And in addition to that, there were people that worked at the steel mill and mines. And so they could always get a kid a job referral, or they could hire them in the summer to work. And so I thought one of the best things we could do to get their attention is give them some keep them out of trouble during the summer, because a lot of them are having run-ins with the police, or it's vandalism, or just sitting around doing nothing. And so on the part of the Urban Ranger Corps was to create a job in the neighborhood for the kids in the summer, and to give them a role in the neighborhood, because a lot of times they were alienated from the neighbors, a lot of turnover in the neighborhood. Give them a role in the neighborhood where they have a place where they could help their neighbors. So the main thrust of it at that time was to get them to paint houses of seniors who live in the neighborhoods, and usually try to cluster them together so we make an improvement on the neighborhood instead of doing one over the northeast and one out the southwest. But one of the key ingredients these kids need, which a lot of people don't understand, is they need money. They have no money. We have one kid, he goes to high school where he goes because they have uniforms. He'd like to go to the other high school. They didn't have any money to buy clothing for the other high school. And if you heard when they ran through the plaza this summer, last summer, terrorizing the place, when they analyzed, talked to the kids, they said, "Why are you doing that?" "Well, we have no place to go. We don't have any money to pay for entertainment and so forth." So then we set it up on a quasi-paramilitary thing along the idea of the Forest Rangers. When I used to go camp in Colorado, so we call them Urban Rangers. And they have uniforms, and we have real strict discipline. They get thrown out pretty easy. Even though we throw them out or terminate them early in the summer, they can come back the next year and try again. And we select kids from the 5 zip codes that are, actually 4 of them are the ones with bad schools on the paper today. They have the 5 highest referral rates to the juvenile court. And so they get paid, they make about $2,000 a summer. They wear red suspenders, they don't keep their pants up, they get sent home and they don't have a uniform. They work 8 hours a day at 7 o'clock in the morning. We have colors, raise the flag, we do about an hour of calisthenics, and they work all day until 4. We have volunteers that bring brown bag lunches for them on the lunch on site. And then we do a career plan for them, because one of the things we find is 80% of them don't have any hope about the future. So they're going to pick a lot in the streets. And so they do an individual career plan where we let them decide where they want to do after high school, what they need to do to get there, whether you take the SAT, the ACT, or the carpenter, how you get the job. And then we track them all during the school year, be sure they're implementing their plan. So when they walk out of the high school graduation, they know what they're going to do the next morning. We have kids who walk out and don't have a clue what they're going to do the next morning. They want to go to a private school in Texas. They have no financial plan. They don't have gas money to get to Texas. And so we try to help them make sure they have a plan like that. And now we have them, they all get physicals and dentals at the beginning of the year. They work 5 days. When they come, they get no pay. They do calisthenics, hiking, 8-mile hikes, 2-mile hikes, 4-mile hikes, push-ups. And if they get through that, then they get to be a Urban Ranger for 8 weeks. And so it's a pretty stringent program. but the kids love it eventually. They'll complain about hiking. I'll say, well, should they hike next year? The next group next year, should they hike? Oh, yeah. So it's a highly disciplined thing. The schools are beginning to like us because the kids, when they go back to school, they're a little more respectful, they dress up a little better, and we're going to start using participation in the Rangers as doing better in school. Their counselors and things like that. And some of them live pretty dangerous lives. In fact, we got into the individual career planning because in 2008, one of our Rangers got shot in the back of his head and killed. And that's when we realized we just couldn't be a summer program and be a year-round contact. And that's what we do. And we have one interesting fellow recently. He went to Westport High School. Everyone's heard how bad Westport High School is. He graduated in 2009. He went to Missouri Valley. He was elected the student body president for this year there. And I called him, what are you doing for summer? He said, I'm going to England to study Shakespeare. And so kids could make it if they didn't want to. So I'll stop for questions. There's a lot more to talk about. But,
Can you tell us about the specific funding request?
yeah, we realized we were mainly a few people funding this thing for 6 years, about $2 million worth. And we finally realized we have to go public and raise funds. We started in January. But our surprise was when we went out there, we thought everyone knew about their rangers. We went out there, no one knew about their rangers. They said, aren't you youth-filled or something to do with scouts? And so we need a kind of promotional video that we can show, that other people show, the speakers bureau show. And so our current one is getting out of shape. And so it's real important because we got to go broader for money. And the foundation's told us we don't like to fund so long as we get all the money from a few sources. We've got to diversify.
So how much will that cost?
The program?
Would you?
The video. It's
Yeah.
about 16. We have a bid between like 15 and 18. And it's about 16,000 what we're requesting for that. And the company's doing it did pro bono for us in the past, so we figured it's time. It's going to be more complicated this time.
What's your capacity for the number of people in the program?
Well, we can handle 36 this summer. We usually take in 40 because some drop off on the way. By the way, the guys got dental half, 15 of them got extractions and fillings and everything else. We're trying to build up to 100 by 2014 this summer. And then we want to fantasize. Wouldn't it be different if we had 1,000 in Kansas City in the summer?
Beyond, besides the student body president, Shakespeare scholar, how else do you feel that, how else have you measured success?
Well, we have 3 measures. Don't get arrested by the police. That's really important in the summer when they have idle time. Second thing is they all have to go back to high school at the end of the summer. And third is they have to graduate from high school and have a career path they're going to follow. It's not they're going to be a lawyer the day they graduate, but they got to have a pathway. And that's our main three criteria.
Is the video for donors or for kids?
The video is going to be a multifaceted one, but it'll be mainly for going for donors and fundraising, speaking for specific clubs and so forth. But it's also, the way we see it, it's going to be for also to show parents, show it in schools, to orient them too. And our past one was focused more on the staff and adults. This one's going to be focused more on kids getting interviewed and then seeing closer up at work. So it'll be about 6 minutes. It'll be on our website, Facebook, and all that stuff. Yes, sir.
Presumably you have kids that come every summer, been going on for 6 years?
Yeah, we're going to limit that. We have some in there 4 years, but we're going to limit that to just 2 summers, and then you have to, following 2 summers, maybe you have to do internships. We'll have to rotate internships for businesses.
But in the past, like, before you start out, but how many return?
Well, I'd say about 30% are repeat people, and then we have about 6 kids that have been there 4 years. And we figured we can't get it for 2 years, and then some internships, we would be better off at 7 or 4 years. And it'll also help us handle more people.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.